Thanks for tuning into the vmyths.com news desk. I'm Rob Rosenberger. My colleague has the night off. Our top story, Computer Economics Incorporated made headlines today when they announced a $1.2 billion damage guesstimate for the original Code Red attack. Not the current attack, just the original one. You may recall Computer Economics Incorporated committed a similar mathematical atrocity during the I Love You hysteria. VP Michael Erbschlow's name appears all over this guesstimate, and he once again calculated worldwide damages to an absurdly accurate plus or minus $10 million. Let's go to Reuters reporters David Fox and Bernhard Warner for the latest. Gentlemen? Computer Economics, based in Carlsbad, California, estimated that Code Red has already cost an estimated $1.2 billion in damage to networks, ranking it below last year's Lovebug virus, but above the Melissa virus of 1999 in terms of destructiveness. The cost of cleanup, monitoring, and checking systems for Code Red was near $740 million, said Michael Erbschlow, Vice President of Research at Computer Economics. The loss of productivity associated with the worm was near $450 million. Information technology people are not cheap, he said. A lot of companies have outsourced this, and they have to pay sometimes $300 an hour to have people come in and look at their servers. That was David Fox and Bernhard Warner reporting for Reuters. My friend John, a router security analyst, would love one of those consulting jobs. Then again, so would I. You throw 2/5 of the fee in my face, man, I'll genuflect to Erbschlow on my way out of here. Well, back to headlines. In other news, the U.S. military once again ordered a precautionary disconnect for all bases worldwide and all ships at sea. A source, reliability unknown, claims the Defense Information Systems Agency ordered a temporary separation of the Siamese twins known as Nippernet and Internet. vmyths.com checked a random sampling of Army, Navy, and Air Force websites. Most failed to respond. So it seems the Pentagon will only let citizens surf to military websites from the 20th to the 28th of each month. We expect a DoD spokesperson will soon declare the Internet a clear and present danger. And, speaking of DoD spokespersons, Wired quoted Major Barry Venable as saying, "The worm is an ugly thing. We've observed several disturbances to our networks as a result of this thing working on the Internet, but we've seen no significant degradation to DoD yet. Except for the fact their websites no longer speak to the Internet, of course. So remember, if Code Red temporarily prevents you from viewing a website, that's bad. Yet if the owner of a website temporarily prevents you from viewing it, that's okay." Now here's Tom with the weather, brought to you by InternetTrafficReport.com. Tom?
Thanks, Rob. Our little up and down arrows keep flipping up and down, much like the stock markets do on any given day. But if you look at the 7-day maps, or charts as you Windows users like to call them, well, you'll notice the last day or so looks pretty average. This kind of confused us here in the Internet Weather Bureau because the SANS Internet Storm Center, I'm not making up that name, by the way. The SANS Internet Storm Center is tracking a wild Code Red storm. That's exactly what they're calling it, by the way, a storm. Right now, the SANS charts are showing 177,619 compromised servers around the world. That's an exact number, by the way, and we here in the Internet Weather Bureau thought the resulting worm activity would result in, as Russ Cooper of TrueSecure said, the meltdown of the Internet. That's an exact quote, by the way. Theoretically, only spam and Code Red should be getting through to your computer. But, as you can see by the 7-day maps, you'll notice the last day or so looks pretty average. So, if we didn't know about the big worldwide Code Red storm, well, I'd have to predict continued average weather for the Internet. And lots of spam. But I really can't predict average weather, because there's that big Code Red storm, you know. So, back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Tom. In computer security news, the SANS Institute claims the Code Red worm threatened to cause a massive distributed denial of service attack on their network. SANS was forced to store critical data on alternate servers in order to avoid the devastating attack. An email newsletter from the security group explained, "Hour-by-hour infection data from SANS Internet Storm Center, the Internet's early warning system, is posted at digitalisland.net/CodeRed. We didn't post it at our site because several 100,000 visitors an hour was too much for us to handle." SANS did not speculate on when they could safely move their infection data back onto their own servers. Turning now to world news, this just in. The Pentagon issued a statement on its website today denying that it is the most retreat-prone military on Earth. U.S. citizens may read the statement on the Pentagon's website anytime from the 20th to the 28th of each month, spokesman Major Barry Venable said. Ron Dick, the director of FBI's National Infrastructure Protection Center, told a Reuters reporter, "Currently, all government and military sector watch centers are not reporting any unusual activity associated with the Code Red virus." Warren's Washington Internet Daily quotes Dick as saying, "I can't explain why other countries haven't taken it as seriously as we have," such as by shutting down their own military websites as a precaution. On a humorous note, user-friendly cartoonist and Unix slave Iliad, no last name, just Iliad, produced a cute comic strip about the death of the internet at the hands of Code Red. An HPUX hacker who calls himself Lord Fusionbyte translated the cartoon's humor as follows. "Unix programmers know you can't destroy the internet with a Windows-based worm. Ha! You'd need to add a Berkeley sockets interface to Windows XP before you could even come close." Here now with a humorous vmyths.com editorial is our new station manager, Chuck Davis. Chuck?
Thank you. Rob, I ordered Michael Herb School's new information warfare tome from Amazon. Come today. Can you believe it? The internet's largest bookseller hasn't yet
shut down their website as a safety precaution. They remain up and running just as our editor at large expected, and vmyths remains up and running, but I will admit we thought about hiding out with the military in their old yak virus bunkers. You know the old saying, fools hack in where the military. Fears to tread. Back to you, Rob. Rebuttals to this editorial may be submitted to any U.S. military email account between the 20th and 28th of each month. That's all for this newscast, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rob Rosenberger for vmyths.com. VMYTHS.com. Truth about computer virus myths and hoaxes. Be there or be scared.